Let's get back to it. It was the best part of a day before he could see the solid bottom. So Beowulf has dived into the lake on which the top flames are. And, excuse me, he's able to hold his breath for a long time. Quickly, the one who haunted these waters, who had scavenged and gone her gluttonous rounds for 100 seasons, sensed a human observing her landish lair from above. She lunged and clutched and managed to catch him in her brutal grip, but his body, for all that, remained unscathed. The mess of his chainmail saved him on the outside. And this is the cover here. This is the armor that Beowulf is wearing. It's chainmail, and each link in the chainmail is just a single ring. And then you link to it another single ring, so you get a long strand, and then start linking out from the sides, and then you build, very incredibly tedious process, a big coat of chainmail, and that saves Beowulf's life. And this fight is not going well between Beowulf and Grendel's mother. He's seeming, is not good. She drags him down into her home. The hero observed that swamp thing from hell, the Tarn hag, and all her terrible strength. Then heaved his war sword and swung his arm. The decorated blade came down ringing and singing on her head. But he soon found his battle torch extinguished. The shining blade refused to bite. It spared her and failed the man in need. Oh no, right? Beowulf gets a death blow in on Grendel's mom, but the sword bounces off. That's never happened before. It gets worse as Grendel's mom grabs a knife, and they're going about, they're tearing up the place, back and forth, until, again, here's line number. Then he saw a blade that boded well, a sword in her armory, an ancient weapon from the days of giants. So they're wrestling around, tearing up the place, and he sees a sword that Grendel's mom had just put over there. One that any warrior would envy, but so huge and heavy in itself, only Beowulf could wield it in battle. So Beowulf has got it, right? It's so big and so heavy that only this hero can do it. So the shieldings here are hard pressed and enraged, took a firm hold of the hilt and swung the blade in an arc, a resolute blow that bit into her neck bone and severed it entirely. Excuse me. Toppling the doomed house of her flesh, she fell to the floor. The sword dripped blood. The swordsman was elated. Wow. Ooh, that was a tough fight. That went on for a few pages. So Beowulf decapitates Grendel's mom. But now, here's something that's really interesting. What does he do? He goes through the house and finds Grendel's corpse, right? Because Grendel's dead. And then what does he do with Grendel's corpse? He cuts off the head of Grendel. But Grendel's already dead, right? Yeah, in the fight with Grendel, Beowulf fought without any weapons, of course, bare hands, ripped off Grendel's arm, and then Grendel ran off, right? And then Grendel's mom comes back and gets the arm of her child. You can't have that prize. You can't have that. So what does Beowulf have to do? He has to get another prize to take back with him. Why is this? Well, a lot of people say, boy, this is just terribly, terribly bloody, Mr. K. We have to remember, in order to be a hero, people have to tell stories about you. You have to have proof of your battle. A lot of people, when we look at Beowulf's behavior here, point to one of the seven deadly sins, the sin of pride. Yeah, we can certainly find that. There's some boasting throughout. Beowulf does seem to have some infection with pride. That's certainly part of being a hero. A lot of critics point out the difference between the battles. In the battle with Grendel, Beowulf again does what? His bare hands, and he's able to win. With Grendel's mother, what happens? What happens? He uses weapons, right? His weapons don't work. The only reason he won is because he was, luckily chanced upon, oh, look, here's this incredible sword that only I can use to defeat this monster. Wow. Now, those were two monsters down. Up next, we still have another monster to go, and we'll tackle that in the next lecture.